radio station in the world. Is right here, right now.
Wait a minute.
The coolest rhythm and the hottest dance. One after another. Now, hear this.
Just like
variety from the 90s, 2Ks and now.
Are you ready?
The coolest station online.
Yeah, so
Royal FM 95.1.
Royal FM 95.1. We are premier. We are royal.
It's time to care. It's time to share about the world we live in.
Join Thaniel ID every Saturday at 2 p.m. only on Real FM 95.1 Ilorin.
Together, let's uncover the stories behind climate change, the people, the places, the power to make a difference.
From experts' insights to community voices and exciting rewards for you.
My environment and I, together for a greener tomorrow.
With Thaniel ID only on Real FM 95.1 Ilorin. Don't miss it.
It is the first day in the 11th month in the year 2021, and what a day it is. Better and good for all of us to talk about what keeps us alive, what gives us life, where we live. That is our environment. Welcome to My Environment and I on Royal FM 95.1. I'm your host, Thaniel ID, with the Clean Vibes. Today, let's look at this. Over 190 countries have signed an international agreement on climate change, and it's known as the Paris Agreement, promising to limit global warming and protect our planet. But here in Nigeria, many of us still wake up and flood the streets, use charcoal, litter the environment with waste, pollute the air, and leave food waste unattended to. Today, we would be discussing the impact and how it affects day-to-day life of Nigeria and environmental challenges in Nigeria on the Paris Agreement. But today, unfortunately, our guest speaker could not make it to the studio due to some reasons. I will be piloting this show alongside you. Now the studio lines to join us is 0810-850-1371. The studio line once again 0810-850-1371. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on WhatsApp on 0916-737-5588. WhatsApp number once again 0916-737-5588. Once again, what we are discussing today is International Climate Agreement and the day-to-day environmental challenges in Nigeria, the way forward. We will be dissecting the Paris Agreement, which Nigeria is a part of. And then, what is the way forward for Nigeria? Let's go on this quick musical break. When we are back, we will unpack what the Paris Agreement is all about and how it affects our day-to-day lives in Nigeria.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story, shit was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back, sometimes I won't, yeah. I feel good, sometimes I don't, I finesse down Western Road, yes. Might go down to G.O.D., yeah, wait. I go hard on Southside G, yeah, wait. I make sure that Northside eat. And still, bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Yeah. Hey, hey. She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the party. And you know me, turn the 02 into the 03, dog. Without 40 Ollie, there be no me. Imagine if I never met the broskies. God's plan, God's plan. I can't do this on my own, hey, no, hey. Someone watching this shit close, yep, close. I've been me since Scarlet Road, hey, road, hey. Might go down as G.O.D., yep, wait.
Wave Beats Music.
All right, so welcome to Royal FM Radio 95.1 in Loring. This is My Environment and I, where we talk about sustainability, where we talk about environmental cleanliness, where we talk about health, and where we talk about wellness. So today we are discussing an important topic, international climate agreements and the day-to-day environmental challenges in Nigeria, the way forward, focusing on the Paris Agreement. So as I said earlier, I would be piloting this show today alone, but then I'm not alone. I have you out there. You can also call in to contribute to the discourse on how Nigeria is, faring in following the agreement signed in Paris. 0810-850-1371. Studio lines once again 0810-850-1371. If you cannot get through to us on call, you can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0916-737-5588. Studio line once again 0916-737-5588. So, people, the question most Nigerians, the average Nigerian will ask is, what is the Paris Agreement and why does it matter? So, as we will know, the Paris Agreement is an agreement of countries around the world that took place, which Nigeria is part of, and this agreement took place in Paris, France, with the agreement signed. The Conference of Paris meeting was an annual meeting that actually reviewed the progress and made pledge on sustainability of countries around the world and how this connect with everyday life in Nigeria. Let's look at agriculture, for instance. Climate change has actually brought about irregular rainfall. On this show, our guests have actually explained how irregular rainfalls have actually affected agricultural produce in Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, around the world. But the Paris Agreement was signed in order to help mitigate the impact of climate change on agriculture, invariably leading to lower prices in food items. Inversely, the case is different for Nigeria as food prices continue to go up by the day as a result of irregular rainfall in Nigeria. Also, the Paris Agreement had in it covered the energy access. Well, Nigeria in recent years, especially since the removal of fuel subsidy, have been transitioning to more greener and cleaner energy in the installation of solar system. We've seen a surge in the installation of solar systems in Nigeria, despite the fact that before now, there have been high consumption of fuel. But with the removal of fuel subsidy, Nigeria is currently transitioning to green energy, that is, solar energy. Healthcare and environment. We've experienced hot temperature in Nigeria in recent years as a result of the worsening climate change situations in Nigeria. Now, the Global Climate Funds help to improve healthcare accessibility as a result of exposure to climate-related hazards. Unfortunately, Nigeria as a country has not been able to access such funds, although such funds are open to both governments, NGOs, and individuals working in the space of climate and climate-related projects. Flooding and infrastructural deficiency. Despite Nigeria being a signatory to the Paris Agreement, it has failed to carry out proper sensitization and preventive measures to prevent the recurrent flooding issues in Nigeria. Flooding are witnessed in states such as Benue, Kogi State, Bayelsa, and most recently, Niger State, where thousands of people are displaced, means of livelihood are lost, and investments are also lost due to the flooding incidences. Now, climate finance has actually been a major problem that Nigeria has not been able to adjust properly to. The Paris Agreement isn't just about promises, but it includes funding. Unfortunately, the Nigerian government has not been able to implement rightly the measures signed by the signatories to enforce and finance the green transition. Also, why does this matter to Nigeria? On day-to-day accounts, we witness the rise of prices in food crops, agricultural produce as well. The availability of water and electricity is constantly declining as a result of climate change. Now, safety of households during rainy season is very, very much unpredictable, as Nigeria is one of the worst hit countries in West Africa as a result of constant flooding that happens in the nation. Jobs are being taken off. People are being laid off. In jobs, people lost their means of livelihood, especially people in the area of that are prone to flood. Example, in Niger State, businesses were washed away. People lost their lives. Properties were lost. Businesses were lost. And as a result of that, people lost their means of livelihood. Aside that, what are some of the challenges that we faced in Nigeria since signing the Paris Agreement? One of these is flooding. We've seen rising cases of flooding across Nigeria in recent years, from the 2017 flooding in Benue, 2020 Benue, as well 2013, 2012, and 2024 Kogi State flooding, as well as Niger State. Recently, in 2025, there was a flood that occurred in Niger State that led to thousands of people being displaced. In 2017 alone, Benue, as a result of the flooding, it's going to, be a concern for Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole. Well, recently, we've seen improvements, especially in Kwara State, Ilorin here, to be precise. Drainages are being cleared up, gutters are being cleared, streets are being cleaned as well. But is this the situation across nation? No. If you look at the way streets are being littered around Nigeria, statistics shows that, and according to the United Nations here, statistics show that the amount of waste products generated by Lagos State alone is more than what is generated in about 7 different African countries. This is as a result of careless dumping and drainage blocking. This also calls attention to not only the government, but the individuals as well as NGOs to tackle the issue of waste disposal and waste mismanagement, as it's one of the things affecting our adherence to the Paris Agreement. Let's go on a quick musical break. When we are back, we will look at the local issues affecting Nigeria and policies, possible policies and policy implementation Nigerian government and the Nigerian people can actually impact to make sure that we are on the right track to achieving the Paris Agreement.
But you won't be. I could treat you right, I could treat you right. Eat you up all night, girl, just in my line. Take you on a date, dinner on the roof. Baby, we can photo booth. Oh, 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 oh. Her last man couldn't keep her, cause he played by the rules. Said she don't want me, that's alright with me. One day checks. Then show me, hit me up at 3, talking about where you at. You a little Libra, you already know. Money in my pocket and it's off of you. Cute little thing with an attitude. Racks up in my pocket and it's off of you. Body hella crazy. She gon' rob me cause I'm wavy. Bitty out of Long Beach. She be frontin' but she won't be. I could treat you right, I could treat you right. That's not a real house, yeah. I can show you things, I can show you things. Baby, pick a truck, you want the rolls or the rain. How you dripping water, got it rolls on the chain. Girl, I got you gripping, whipping slow
right, so welcome. This is my Environment and I radio show with Daniel ID. We are in the final lap of the show. Now we will be discussing is Nigerian government or is the Nigerian government or Nigerian policymaker doing enough to translate this international commitment into real solutions for Nigeria, and where are they falling short? These are some of the things we'll actually be looking at before we leave the show. But then, as I said earlier, you can send us your WhatsApp message on 09167375588. Do you think the Nigerian government, the policymakers, are doing enough? Are they doing enough to translate this international commitment into real-time solutions for Nigeria? Tackling the issue of waste mismanagement, tackling the issue of flooding, tackling the issue of droughts in the north as well. Are the Nigerian policymakers doing enough? Or do you think there are policies that can actually be made to improve the system? Well, so Nigeria has actually shown that it is committed to the Paris Agreement. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of gaps that have been identified during the course of time where they've failed to meet up with the minimum requirements. Nigeria signed the National Determined Contribution Pact as well as part of the Paris Agreement. But unfortunately, Nigeria has not been able to meet its target or has not been able to take significant steps towards meeting its target of zero net emission by 2060 because it's still slow and has inadequate facilities to technically handle the issue of environmental emission, such as carbonated, gas flaring and all that. So, Nigeria is yet to to start implementing policies towards achieving zero emission in 2060. So, the policymakers need to pay attention into this area. Also, we have insufficient funding and so much dependent on external support. Nigeria as a country, after signing the Paris Agreement, is required to set a significant amount specifically to climate change and environmental related concerns. Unfortunately, the nation is yet to realize the importance of this and is yet to set significant amounts. So, Nigeria as a country depends mostly on foreign donations, funding to fuel its climate change-related projects, including awareness and campaigns. This is one of the ways, and policymakers in the National Assembly, at the State Assembly, as well as local level, should know that funding is actually a significant part of making sure that we achieve the target of 2060, achieving net zero emissions. There is also there is poor data collection as well as monitoring system. There is no reliable data on emission, land use, and adaptation in Nigeria. We only make do of the scarce data that we have and reports that most times are unverified. So the Nigerian government and policymakers should set a framework that lay down procedures for getting data, evaluating data, and monitoring the data as related to climate and climatic related actions. Also, little or no local engagement. Recently, there have been improvements in the area of local engagement as more people are beginning to be drawn into the issue of climate change and environmental sustainability. But more needs to be done as most climate actions are designed at the federal level with little or limited involvement of state or local governments. this approach, that is the top-down approach, has actually failed to reflect local realities, as most farmers, especially at the local level, do not have access to the federal policies, and those policies remain at the federal level without getting to the local level. These are some of the challenges, these are some of the areas that can be taken care of. These are some of the areas that the government and policymakers need to look at. That is the level of implementation of the national determined contribution goal, which was signed in Paris. Also, they need to look at the insufficient funding in climate and climatic-related activities in Nigeria, including awareness campaigns, dustbin provision as well. We also the policymakers need to look at the weak data or the poor data collection processes, the lack of evaluation and monitoring system in Nigeria. That needs to actually improve if we want to achieve the Vision 2060 goal. Lastly, we also, as a country, need to look at the limited local involvement of people. The top-down policy development approach that is being adopted by Nigeria would need a holistic overview and a strategic approach to make sure that this is actually the 2060 goal is properly realized. And we are out of time. This is where we'll come to the end of My Environment and I on this day. Today we've been discussing on the International Climate Agreement and the day-to-day environmental challenges in Nigeria, the way forward. The way forward is for us to have the policymakers to have sufficient funding, more data, proper data collection and monitoring process, as well as having local involvement of Nigerian into the policy-making decision as well as implementation. As always, remember, the environmental sustainability is not my duty. It is your duty.